Hello, everybody, and yes, I'm very aware that this is quite different to what I usually post because this is actually quite active, it's not very passive, and it also focuses on person. But in terms of what's been happening lately, I feel like it's just extremely important to talk about this, to be honest, because it's genuinely become quite a large thing. So, for anyone that's not that informed on it, there's this person called Triton. He's 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 just not a great person, to be honest. I first heard about him because everyone spam pinged everyone on different servers because of a stream he was doing. So I kind of joined, and then within about 20-30 seconds, he'd already made extremely offensive comments. So that wasn't the greatest introduction. But okay, I didn't think that much of it. But then it's just over the past few weeks, the situation has just progressed so much, and it's become so ridiculously bad. I cannot fathom how we've ended up in this situation where this person has gained such a following. I want to distinguish as well within the community. Look, I'm aware this is Discord, and furthermore, I guess it's gaming slash Minecraft slash whatever. It's within this sort of bubble, and I understand most people are edgy 14-year-olds that don't really understand what it is that they're actually saying, and I don't know, within a few years they'll kind of grow up and they won't say stuff that isn't great. So obviously there are some people who are offensive, but I want to point out for the majority of these people, they're not actually racist or sexist or homophobic or anything like that. Sure, they say really insensitive stuff, and it's not good whatsoever. But if you give them a situation, and if you had them at gunpoint and you ask them, do you genuinely hate these people? Would you actually hurt someone? Would you do this, that, or the other? Most of them, at least I hope, will probably say no because they just say offensive things to try to be funny. The difference with those people and Triton is because Triton, I don't know his exact age, but it's really clear he is not just some random 14-year-old kid that's just gotten on Discord and thinks he has to stand out from the crowd. This is a grown man who should have the maturity to actually be able to think and to distinguish himself from the highly offensive, highly prejudiced thoughts that he believes. And it's very clear from talking to him that he just, it's so deeply ingrained within his brain that he's just delusional. It's unbelievable to me. To give some, I guess, context to the situation, as I'm recording this, the night before, I had a debate with the person. Well, I guess I call it a debate, but really it was more like a conversation. I just wanted to have a chance to speak to him. He was going on and on about it in a live stream that I was doing. So I messaged in the comments saying, okay, give me a call. I want this streamed. I want everyone to be able to contribute and to listen. And so I added him, he called me, and for the next 30 minutes, never have I ever wanted to pull my own hair out as much as I did when talking to him. This man is so buried within self-delusion and contradiction that I can't even begin to make a list of the things that he's said and just the things that he's trying to convey. He, to give a very simplified summary, he says that he accepts and loves people of the LGBTQ. I'll just call it the LG community because otherwise that's just so many synonyms within an acronym. But okay, he says that he loves and accepts them because it's what Allah would want. And then at the same time, he says he doesn't support the movement and he doesn't agree with it. And it's not like he's saying, he doesn't agree with the fundamental movement. I think I made a point within the actual debate that there are things within the Black Lives Matter movement that I don't agree with, like people using black squares and thinking it's going to change everything, or people just trying to use what's it called? I can't remember the exact word, but it's it's called it's a form of fake activism. Sorry, I can't remember the exact term, but people saying this, that, or the other, or people posting this, that, or the other on Instagram without any follow-up, without any contribution in real life. They just say it and then it's over. I disagree with that about the movement, but fundamentally, I agree with what the movement is aiming towards, which is an equality for, I guess, primarily black people, but also people of other minorities. But the thing is, he doesn't agree with the logistics. He agrees with the fundamental concept. I'm talks about it. He keeps saying that he accepts these people, but I mean, seriously, as you're listening to this, you accept something being wrong. Look, okay, if you get food from a restaurant and it's slightly too salty, you accept that. If you if something happens, okay, if you like uh, crack your phone, you accept that it's happened. Okay, you don't accept somebody. That's just not how the world should be. I don't know if I'm making the most amount of sense here, but what he's doing is he's just tolerating these people, and that's the most he's able to do. He doesn't care about them. He doesn't love them for who they are. He can bang on and on for 30 minutes of just nonsense. But at the end of the day, he barely manages to tolerate these people, which is absolutely ridiculous. That someone who actually has a platform. I wanted to emphasize this as well. There are people who are offensive, but basically nobody knows them, and they've got no YouTube platform. They've got no real amount of prestige on Discord, so nobody will really listen to them. So it doesn't matter that much. Sure, it's not good that they say it, but it's not that far reaching. Here we have someone who has something like 500 plus subscribers, I think getting up to 600. I mean, like seriously, the guy has 3 times as many subscribers as me. To be honest, that's a failure on all of you watching. But like, okay, no, but jokes aside, that's unbelievable. That is insane to me. You have somebody who I don't know, obviously, because I'm not him. At the end of the day, only he knows. But I don't know if he's using all of this insane behavior just to try to gain a following for himself or to create a platform. I don't know if he enjoys people arguing so that he gets more popularity. I don't know what it is, but as a community, I don't think I'm in the minority when saying that this is just the absolute. He is absolutely everything that I want in a community. The things he says and the things he does, it's honestly sickening. I'm not able to provide, say, evidence of screenshots or evidence of audio clips within this video of things that he said, but don't take that to mean that there's no evidence of what he's done. If you talk to if you talk to somebody who's witnessed these things for 5 minutes and you talk to maybe a handful of these people, there will be pages and pages of things that he's done or said or implied, or it's insane because what he's doing is he has these prejudiced notions and he's exerting them on people, which is disgusting. There are people who I admit I don't think there's that many transsexual people, but I think there are a handful, and from the top of my head, I can think of at least one or two homosexual people. I know that obviously sexuality, it's these people are young, so it's obviously not something that's going to be discussed that much. But within a few hundred people, it's not so difficult to imagine that there are quite a few homosexual, bisexual people. So if you place yourself in their position, think about how it must feel for somebody who, I repeat again, has quite a large platform to say these things like, I fundamentally don't accept who you are, and the thought of what you're doing, uh, say for example, transitioning between a man and a woman, or having homosexual sex, doesn't make me comfortable. It doesn't align with what's natural within my brain. It's unbelievable, and it's disgusting, and you can't just keep letting that happen. I want to also focus upon this debate. Sorry, I've gone on a slight tangent, but within the actual debate, he's just he talks me sometimes up. He said at the very beginning, "Oh, I've done some of these debates with Christians on my Discord server." I don't know what kind of debates he has. I'm not going to go into the full structure of it, but a proper formal debate, especially the ones that we have in Britain, you have, I believe, it's, I believe it's the speaker that's speaking for, then against, then there's the rebuttal, and then rebuttal, and then basically, you speak back and forth over and over again. Okay? he within this debate, he kept making me ask him yes or no questions, or answer yes or no questions. That's not how a debate works. You can't control what somebody says and limit what they're allowed to say. That's how you know this guy, he's got absolutely no reply for what me, and by extension everyone else, is saying about him. Like, genuinely, imagine try having a debate with somebody and then they say, yes, you can say things and ask me questions, but only if they're yes or no. Nothing complex, because otherwise my brain can't handle it and I'll be exposed for what I am, which is a bigot, a race, probably a I don't know. I don't want to throw around terms, but definitely someone who's very, very misguided. So that just carried on for ages, and it was awful. The guy doesn't understand that when you're in a society, your purpose and an obligation. By the way, he doesn't know what moral obligation means. I tried to explain to him, but he apparently just can't understand those two words. He doesn't understand that within a society, you have to do things for other people, and the basis of a society is that you're kind to somebody. That's especially where we are right now in the world and in the times that we are. A basic expectation is that you are kind to people and you're good to them. So I don't know what it is that's blocking it from his daft brain, but clearly there is something. Uh, anyway, he then kept on just going in roundabouts and roundabouts and just saying nothing of any worth. And then there was a really weird moment where he started to talk about like threatening to dox me, or I don't know what that. It was a really weird moment. I was speaking and then he was saying something like, oh, "Everyone's seen your face," because he asked me to turn on my camera in the beginning. I don't have anything against people knowing what I look like. I think the majority of people I talk to know what I look like. But then he started asking me, saying stuff like "man up," I want you to man up and stuff like that, and asking me if I'm completely British, or if there's still an Asian influence with my family, which is just absolutely not relevant whatsoever. I don't care if somebody asks me, but what are you on about? Why are you trying to act like you having a photo of my face is some sort of thing you can hold against me? No, I post. I admit it's unlisted now, but there was a whole video for like 5 minutes of me with my camera on talking about something. So, and from my memory, I think before I enlisted it, a few hundred people within the CubeCraft community have already seen it. So, what are you on about? It's just ridiculous. As well, somebody else after my friend Kyronicon, he messaged me during the time I was debating him, saying, after you leave, can you just mention to him, I want to have just a civilized conversation. When Triton did call Chironicon, Triton said, can you turn on your camera? And then Chironicon very understandably says, no, why? It's got zero relevance. And then Triton just ended the conversation with him. He said something like, if you don't show your camera, then there's no conversation. I want to know what is it going on with this guy? I don't understand his brain. I don't understand what is fundamentally wrong with him. Now, I apologize if I am getting quite emotional because honestly, I'm not necessarily that angry. I'm just more just amazed. I don't understand how this has happened or how a person like this can actually exist. Additionally, because I don't want to make this video about 5 hours long, uh, and also because I refuse to let that person gain any more views from me doing this, I have a what is it? I have a link in the description which will take you to the footage of the interview, so you can look over it and you can listen to the full conversation. I'm not asking that you do that because it's 30 minutes long, and frankly speaking, most of you will have better things to do than listen to a bigot speak for 30 minutes. But as I was saying before, if you need evidence or proof, I think especially in the middle, there's a really just incriminating part for him where he's talking about how the notions of, say, homosexuals having homosexual sex or people transitioning just doesn't fit in his head and isn't what he agrees with. So that's quite an important part. Even past that, he's just so unbelievably arrogant that it's, even without all the bigoted stuff, it's just unacceptable. The guy, now I have a really strong perspective in that if someone calls you not very good at the game, depending on who it is, 99% of the time, it really doesn't matter because it's a game. There are people who I've had issues with at times within this community, but it's got nothing to do with their abilities in Minecraft. It's got everything to do with their personalities. With him, he, I don't know what it is, but from my perspective and from what I've heard about it from other people, he doesn't like somebody out of nowhere and then trash talks them both about like their game or a gaming ability or talking about just them as a person. I think most of you will probably know Avalon. Apparently he doesn't like Avalon somehow, even though for the majority of people, Avalon has never spoken to them without since he's always on mute. So it really begs the question, how can you dislike or get annoyed at someone who's a mute and genuinely doesn't speak? Like, I don't understand that. It just doesn't compute to me how that's possible. And he just goes on and on about this in every single one of his streams, saying I'm the best, and it's just this arrogance within the game. I don't care if someone says that they're the best or claims that they're the best, whatever, it's a game, whatever. If you prove it to me, play me. But when it gets to the point that you can tell his arrogance because he always thinks that he's right about everything when he's not. Everything that he says, I want to bring this back to the debate as well. I'd start to talk about how this is about him personally, because obviously these are his personal beliefs. And then he says things like, oh no, I don't want this to get personal. I don't want this to be about emotion. It's everything about emotion, you bloody fool. Everything that you're saying is because of what you feel. It's got nothing to do with fact. If you actually followed fact, then you wouldn't have these opinions that you have. Anyway, I'm not the biggest follower in a lot of cancel culture because I think it's on a larger scale, it's mostly unnecessary, and a lot of the time it's behind closed doors. That should be sorted out. But what this person is doing is actively offending a very large group of people. And unlike most situations on Twitter or on any number of platforms, what he's doing is actually offensive, and what he's doing is using that to grow and to expand himself outwards. There was somebody in the comments. I can't remember what their name was. I think it's Sicko Blade or something. I can't remember. It's if you watch his original stream, you can see it in the comments. I don't know if this is just someone trying to mess about, but he's talking about like how imagine if people have LGBTQ. Imagine if believing in rights for LG people, or imagine or saying that I'm Asian or whatever, you know, so on and so forth. All I'm saying is, if this Triton person, if he even affects one person out of all the people that watch him or ever will watch him, then that is just a fundamental failure on just us. So if he's, I'm not going to try to dictate what anyone does, but if you have any amount of a tolerance for this person, or you believe that, oh, he's not so bad, oh, you know, he's all right, other people are edgy 14-year-olds. No, this is just something on a different level. If he wants to have a conversation, he wants to try to smooth it out, I'll consider saying yes. Okay, I'm always here to, you know, change people's minds and to try to help them if they need it. But for someone that's as absurd as this, honestly, it's even to me, he's almost pretty much beyond help. It's just, yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't know what else there is to say. Also, about him being the best, just yeah, just at the end now, I'm going to play the clip of when I queued into his solo SkyWars game. But yes, outside of that, thank you for listening to what has been a rant, and hopefully will be the first and only needed official response to Triton and his activities and what he's been doing. So, yes, thank you for listening.
I don't specifically think that rating black people. What the fuck? What does a race have to do with this? We need to talk about the mental issue, gayness, which is not a state of being. Which being black is a state of being. Your own being is a color, which I don't like to rate. That's God's thing. But a state of mind, right? A state of being. We have a state of being, and we have a state of what you have learned throughout your life. And being gay, scientifically proven, we are not born with the ideology of being gay. We are born with the ideology of liking women. Throughout our lifetimes, that has been changed or manipulated into thinking that the same gender is the righteous one. And I cannot blame you when that happens to you. It's what the Western world has normalized right now. Nice. What sources are these coming from? Trust me. The sources, trust me. Sources are trust me. That's the source. Trust me. My source is trust me. You see, my source is trust me. That's where my source is coming from. It's like trust me, bro. That's my source. Trust me. Alright? Since it's scientifically proved. Trust me. Trust me, that's your source. Alright, that's your source for today. Fuck, I glitched through those blocks. Oh, again from the other side. Yes, yes, yes. Too many sides. Too many sides to pick of. Which would now lead into my death. Congratulations, everybody. Try the 2021 president of the country. Oh, my fucking eyes. You got this? Hey, actually, That gave me some motivation, dog. I don't think I can win this by fight, but I think I can win this by knowledge, by wisdom, by pulling out. Oh, never mind. He doesn't follow. I think that's gonna be a bit harsh. I do have to try this out in any way. I'm gonna play this like the fucking stream sniper. So you guys play this all time long. This is how you guys play. You guys know exactly where I am. I might as well. Why the fuck does he not push up like a little bitch? You're that good. You're getting like 30, like fucking like. Why you bullying me? Why are you making a dick over here? Jackpot. Oh, unfortunately, guys, unfortunately.